Hello from New Delhi. This is Saurav Roy, and the title of the paper I'm presenting today is The Online Silence of Sexual Citizens of Bangladesh in Golden July. Digital is Social. Let me just lay out the key points and key areas of this paper. The first one is sexual citizenship. Sexual citizenship is not an inclusion or a minority aspect of citizenship. It's connected to every citizen, irrespective of their gender performance or sexuality, but it is formatted in a specific heteronormative way, and all the other deviations and variations from it are policed and controlled and surveilled by citizenship authorities. The field or archive which I am going to discuss is the Bangla language content on social media platforms. The specific genre of content which I'd like to call GVC or gender variant content. Uh, Bangladesh being the most important Bangla speaking country nation in the world, that's the source of most Bangla language content, and we'll be focusing there. But I must also mention that GVC content is a very major genre of Bangla content, which is produced and consumed also from other Bangla speaking diaspora all across Europe and Asia, and especially the state of West Bengal in India, which is a bordering zone with Bangladesh. Bangladesh is having a continuous string of very public transgender related controversies. Since February 2024, I have been tracking these controversies, which have a very significant online expression. And in July 2024, for a month or more, there was a Gen Z uprising, which finally toppled the Bangladesh's existing government on August 5. But during this time, there was complete radio silence of gender variant content or GVC from Bangladesh. So that is a key question and a key analytic of my paper. Here, you can see this image. This image has some significant transgender achievers of Bangladesh. This is a page from February 2024 edition of a government school textbook, which showcased gender variancy or transgenders and the concept of gender roles, etc., to seventh standard school students of Bangladesh. And that gave rise to a huge nationwide backlash and anger and an online viral content production of GVC. And my paper in ISSH 2024 was about that. Back to July 2024, as I mentioned, there's a Gen Z uprising, which you must have read about in the news media. The government fell on August 5, 2024. And one of the key highlights was storming of the Prime Minister's residence and the looting of her clothes and undergarment. That was a huge news item. And here I would like to highlight again the question of sexual citizenship. The corruption or the other horrid doings of the dictator Sheikh Hasina was not enough to condemn. Her gender was also so important to attack the body politic. So uh, you should keep this picture in mind because we'll be talking about it again. So, who is a good sexual citizen and who is a bad sexual citizen? There are two examples. In the previous slide, I'll show it again. My next slide. There's this unidentified cross-dressed looter who was wearing a brand new sari of the ex-Supremo, and his picture went viral, not just in social media, but also in international news media. But he was let off with mildly pejorative name call because he was a good patriotic citizen. He was ousting the corrupt Supremo. He was doing a good deed for the country. So his sexual deviance can be overlooked. In April 2024, there was another transgender related controversy which was there, where popular actor whose name was Farhan Ahmed Johan, he acted in a streaming show called Rupantar or Transformation in the role of a man who is naturally becoming a woman. Despite his huge popularity, he was not forgiven like this cross-dressed looter. He drew the wrath of the social media and was target of viral memes. And his nickname was given as Gay One. And it was shocking and unthinkable for the general public and all his fans to be taking part in this kind of gay agenda. So here's this meme which says, look, your favorite actor is a Transosaurus. I have already mentioned that the radio silence of July, because the July uh, uprising, its legacy has kind of been diluted and diverted, and I would say uh, majorly erased. That's about now, that's in 2026. But in immediate aftermath, it was seen as a golden new chapter, although bloody, of for Bangladesh. But the Bangla language gender variant content, uh, which I define here properly, which capitalizes, displays, promotes, prescribes, vilifies, comments, celebrates, and explains alternative gender norms, alternate sexualities, gender and sexual minorities, which is a major genre in Bangla language content, it completely stopped showing up. From a major genre of content, it became zero. The silence started with this a Facebook post of Mohin Hashmi, it's a pseudonym, a popular Bangladeshi gay satire content creator. He did a post in Bengali, it's read, the impossible task of uniting all of Bangladesh can only be done around anti BSM, gender and sexual minority hate. There was such a huge backlash that he was forced to delete. And after that, the silence began. If the silence is the major analytic of the paper, the next question which follows, which is also the question of this panel, is digital social. What could be the non-common sense reasons for the silence? We can say there was uprising going on, things were completely abnormal or subnormal or ultra abnormal. Hundreds of people are being slaughtered. The daily life was disrupted. Why would people think about posting content about the gender rate? But this is also a huge online revolution where content was the key. So for every issue, every news, every atrocity, new content was being produced, and the Gen Z was at the helm of it. And they are usually the producers of the GVC, the young men. They were at the helm of the revolution. Either they are condemning it, or they are celebrating it, or they're taking part in it, and mostly they were the victim of. So, in case of sexual citizenship, is digital social. Does the lack of digital participation mean the social distrust in state for gender and sexual minorities, both the state crumbling in the present and the state which is about to come? Because that time the state which is about to come was still not visible. It was too bloody and too noisy and too smoky to see the future. And why there has been so many transgender related controversies before the revolution, after the revolution, even now. They are not about the transgender citizens of Bangladesh. They are about something else. If we look closely, the transgender controversies of increasing frequency are actually said to work as an early alarm system in order to prevent the impending Western import of comprehensive queer rights. So these are the alarm system. They are a bulwark against the full descent of Bangladesh into Western secular civilization hell, which is like the sexual citizenship of the state will completely change from a heteronormative sexual citizenship. The minority will become majority. That's the fear. That's the panic, and the majority will become the minority. So it is a very pivotal question of citizenship is the sexual citizenship. If we see this meme, it's like a infographic conspiracy theory that how transgender issues are pushed by quote unquote Western civilized agenda to make the state compliant to full LGBTQIA plus rights. Here is also a graffiti which was during the July uprising. It is a multi-layer graffiti. So it was in the Dhaka University wall, Dhaka being the capital of Bangladesh, and Dhaka University being the oldest and the most prominent university and one of the epicenters of the uprising. In the center, in yellow, it says Bangladesh, which seems to be the oldest layer. Then at the left, it says Bhabde, that is, give me food or give me rice, which is the staple of Bangladeshi people, uh, like Vietnam. And, or like to say it like a slogan, is like feed us, feed our mouths. And on the right, which is another layer, the white one says fuck G77, which is penal code, which condemns and penalizes same-sex behavior, same-sex sexuality. And the yellow one, it says 71's freedom fight and 24's student people uprising. So it's showing all the aspects of citizenship which might be competing or might be coherent of a multi-layered citizenship. So how was the silence broken? The silence about transgender issues or production of GVC, gender variant content, kind of broke during September 2024. That is 1 month after the toppling of the old government and the interim government came to power. Bangladesh Supreme Court advocate Manzoor Al Matin Pitam became a significant target of online hate. Matin was a July hero before this fall from public gaze. He stood at the front line of the July Revolution, from mass protests to challenging unlawful detention. He became the poster boy of the establishment, abandoning the status quo of the state and defecting to the revolutionary side. But when the issue of public support of GSM rights came, so new constitution is being written and it's being discussed. And who is in a better position to discuss than a very popular Supreme Court advocate? He is very much within his place to discuss it. So he wrote a long Facebook page. He tried to balance July emotions, Islamic scripture, and legal know-how to unequivocally support constitutional rights from for the GSM, gender and sexual minorities. But that post became a tinderbox of homophobic attacks. Just in a matter of minutes, the tide turned. From a hero, he became an anti-hero. There was not only accusation of betraying the spirit of July, but also there was casting aspersions on his own sexuality, as if somebody who is not a gender and sexual minority cannot support the constitutional rights of gender and sexual minority. And then there are hundreds of satirical memes offering condolences to his wife. That that how he has uh, now exposed as a homosexual, or somebody who is completely unfit for heterosexual marriage. So, as we've seen, a very popular actor is dragged into the mud, who was not as popular as the Supreme Court advocate. The Supreme Court advocate was a July hero, and it was his heroism and his status was freshly coined. But when it comes to this question, it's not enough. There are other July heroes who survived, like these two. We'll just talk about it. So after the July uprising was over in August, there was a new rise in grace of a category of individuals, the Samannak or the organizer. The organizers of the revolution slash uprising from Dhaka University, the same university whose wall graffiti we had seen a few slides back, especially Sarjis Alam, Hasnat Abdullah, etc., they became the most prominent in social media. Yet, when the new controversy of constitutionality of GSM rights, which led to the advocate Matin's fall from grace, Sarjish Alam reiterated the previous standing he had on the topic during the transgender textbook controversy in February. We mentioned this before. He rendered this issue as un-Islamic and untenable. So there's one nationwide revolution later, the heroes stood still in the same place when it comes to sexual citizenship. But there was backlash. So this set of memes were actually kind of a clap back at Sajish and Hasnat. Like clockwise, the topmost picture on the left is a genuine picture. Hasnat and Sajish are very close friends, and Hasnat got married, and Sajish went there, and as fellow celebrities, they're photographed heavily. And some of the commentators commented that Sajish is photographed more heavily than the bride. So the meme kind of sexualized Sajish as a woman who then slowly becomes homosexual and gets into a kind of relationship with Hasnat. So it's as if they were getting married, not Hasnat with another woman. I would like to conclude this paper comparing two memes. And it's the same meme which concluded my last ISSH paper on school book transgender controversy. Only this time this meme has been updated. So this is a February 2024 version of the meme and a September, October 2024 version of the meme. And then the picture is same, but the text has changed. One part of the picture has also changed. So we'll have a close look. The left-hand side is the previous one. So this is the pre-July jihad meme. And the caption says from left to right, how the Westerns want to see your child as, that is a cross-dressed man. Versus, because if men remain men, then only Western imperialism can be built. Then only Western imperialism can. So it's the right photograph of a Mujahideen reading a book, putting down his AK-47. And on the right-hand side, the left half of the meme is the same. The right-hand side, the Mujahideen has been replaced by Abu Said, and who was the first martyr of the July uprising. And also the captions has changed. The left side says how the progressive Rabindranath Tagore lovers of Bangladesh want to see your child as. So it's about the liberal agenda. There are many layers to this, so I'm not getting into it. It's most easily translated as a liberal agenda. And the right side says, because if a man stands up as a man, then fascists are bound to it. Means Awami League and Sheikh Hasina, who the Supremo and her party, which are top. And here I can.